Thank you, Madam Speaker. You want to help me out there, Tommy? There you go. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, it's a privilege today to recognize and honor not only a hero, but an incredibly selfless person and beloved member of the Richmond community, Mr. Russell Lee Scott. This time I ask the Scott family to, if they will stand, please. Madam Speaker, most of you, in fact, probably most Virginians, have not heard of Russell or of his incredible story while serving in the Army Air Corps in World War II. But Madam Speaker, if you have ever spent any time at the Virginia War Memorial, you most definitely would have known Russell, because in many ways, Russell Scott was the Virginia War Memorial. Russell Scott was born in Richmond on April 26, 1920. And one of his goals was to have a celebration next month on his 100th birthday. But the Lord called Russell home about 6 months ahead of his schedule. So, Madam Speaker, I'd like to think that the House is celebrating Russell's centennial today. Russell Scott was beginning a career in the automotive industry when the start of World War II called Russell to duty in the Army Air Corps, where he trained as a tail gunner on a B-25 medium bomber. Russell Scott flew his first mission off the island of Corsica on May 23, 1944, and 2 days later, while on his second mission over Foggia, Italy, Russell's B-25, nicknamed Wabbitwax, was shot down, and is where Russell's story took what could only be described as a miraculous turn. Parachuting from the plane, Russell broke his back upon impact, an injury that which he would never fully recover. Once captured by German troops, he was held as a prisoner of war until May 1st, 1945. Madam Speaker, the Virginia War Memorial has many artifacts on display that tell a story. But my absolute favorite is the B-25 replica of the Wabbitwax flying nose down with Russell Scott perched patiently on the rear stabilizer that hangs from the ceiling of the main lobby in honor of Russell's steadfast service to the Virginia War Memorial. When you visit the War Memorial, you can't miss it, and when you see it, you will always remember a great Virginian and a great American, Mr. Russell Lee Scott. Upon his return to the U.S., Russell received the Purple Heart as well as medals for valor and for courage. He also resumed civilian life, where he enjoyed a productive career in the automotive industry. Madam Speaker, members of the House, Russell Scott was committed to the Virginia War Memorial. For nearly 20 years, he served as a docent to visitors every Wednesday, sharing his wartime experiences with countless students and visitors. In addition, Russell also volunteered for over 30 years at the Hunter Holmes McGuire Virginia Medical Center in Richmond. Many of you have seen the several media profiles about Russell Scott that have been produced over the years in response to his moving story and inspiring life, including WCVE TV's Virginia Currents program, WTVR TV Heroes Among Us program, WRIC TV's Reliving History program, and several other features in the Richmond Times-Dispatch and other publications. Madam Speaker, in his spare time, Russell was a lifelong Mason, a 35-year member of the American Legion Post 244, a member of the Denny Landrum chapter of the American Prisoners of War, and a faithful member of Lakeside Baptist Church. Russell was preceded in death by his two wives, Madeline and Evelyn. However, is deeply remembered and greatly missed by his stepchildren, Steve, Cindy, and Karen, and their families, and especially his stepson-in-law and buddy, Roddy Roddy, who is here today to accept this memorial resolution on behalf of the family. So, Madam Speaker, members of the House, please join me in thanking the Scott family for sharing Russell with us, because we're all better for having known him, and Virginia has been better because of his service. So, Madam Speaker, I also want to recognize some of the staff from the Virginia War Memorial Department of Veterans Services for their attendance today. I see current Director Clay Mountcastle and former longtime Director John Hatfield. And I think I can see Jeb Hockman and Carrie Alford up there. So y'all please rise. Again, and finally, Madam Speaker, I have a motion.
Delegate Fowler, you have the floor.
Madam Speaker, I move that when the House adjourns today, that we do so in the honor and of the memory of Russell Lee Scott.
Delegate Fowler moves that when the House adjourns today, it adjourns in the honor and memory of Russell Scott. All those in support of this motion shall rise. The motion is agreed to.
Finally, Mr. Speaker, we're going to ask the House to give the family a warm House welcome.
To our visitors and to the Scott family, thank you for sharing Russell with all of us and with the Commonwealth of Virginia. Such an impressive, amazing individual, such a rich history. Thank you so much. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of you, and I agree with Delegate Fowler. I can hear the emotion in his voice, but I feel as if we're celebrating his centennial just a month early, and hopefully honoring him is the best way we can. But our thoughts and prayers are with you. Thank you. The House will be at ease.